or whatever time of day you're listening to this, having ginger tea with lemon. I got some for you today. Fat stack of notebooks, okay? You see the pens? It's very serious. Now, I know that I said that I had 3 notebooks. In the last one, I said, oh, I really have like 3 major notebooks that I use. And that was just a lie. That was not true. When I sat down to really write out, okay, what are my journaling systems? What do the notebooks in my life function as? I realized I have 3 categories of notebooks, but 7 notebooks overall as a whole. Disclaimer, this is gonna get real woo-woo real fast. Sorry about it. I mean, sorry, not sorry. It works for me. So hopefully it'll work for you. I have notebooks for my, well, I was about to say I have notebooks for my spiritual systems, but in reality, they're all spiritual systems. I, in fact, need to draw this out for you. In accordance with the Cuban model of medicine, this is what they teach their medical students out at ILAM, or the Latin American School of Medicine in English. They have 3 major intersecting systems within a person that fits within a community and a society. The biological, the social, and the psychological, the biopsychosocial model, in which all of these different systems interact with one another, they depend on one another, and they make up someone's overall wellness. I go by the biopsychosocial spiritual model. This is something that I went over with all of my clients, where the bio is your physical well-being, the body that you are housed in. Your psycho, your psychology, is the mind that you have within you. The mind is one of the only things about the human experience that is truly infinite. You have your social systems, right? Your immediate family system, your community with yourself and the various selves that exist inside you. I just explained this to my mom, that like my 7-year-old self or my 11-year-old self or my 15-year-old self didn't go anywhere, and I watched her mind like and then your spiritual systems, whether or not you ascribe to a particular religion, have spiritual beliefs or not, there are many things in our life that we interact with on the day-to-day that are metaphysical. I explain this like most people, especially people that watch my videos or read my essays in particular, have a strong sense of justice about them. They feel strongly that there are right and wrong things happening in the world. Now, that is not a universal idea. What is right and what is wrong in terms of morals vary from person to person, even circumstance to circumstance, day to day. However, that feeling and sense of justice lives in a spiritual realm, right? It's metaphysical. You can't see it, you can't touch it, you can't taste it. However, that sense within yourself and within the people around you heavily affect the way that we move throughout the world. Another thing that is metaphysical in nature, yet touches literally everything you touch on a day-to-day basis, money, okay? Money is a spiritual system. Spirit meaning that it does not necessarily exist on the corporal plane. We have physical notes to represent money. However, you can't create enough physical notes for what's in a billionaire's bank account, etc. You know what I'm saying? Money primarily exists on a metaphysical plane. We can't see it, we can't touch it. It's an idea that we all buy into that touches everything about your human existence. The scarf on my head, the textiles on my body, the paper that I'm journaling on, the computer with which I am using to make this video to disseminate to you, even the Ethernet that we interact with, right? All of it is touched by money. So, biopsychosocial spiritual systems. I was about to err and say that I have spiritual systems notebooks, I have time-bending notebooks, and I have memory notebooks. However, all of these things are living in that spiritual quadrant, quite frankly. I am a strong believer in that shape determines function, meaning the shape of the thing helps determine the function of that thing. If you've taken like AP Bio, you have heard that phrase before. The shape of cells, the shape of an organ, the shape of a community, the shape of a house, the shape of a notebook and the paper that you're writing in helps determine the function, the use of that thing. This is my vision notebook. It's huge. It's because I got big dreams. We talked a little bit about vision in the 12-week year, how they say that your goals need to come from your vision and your vision needs to be larger than life. I agree with that sentiment. So this is where I literally go to visualize my larger than life vision. I named this notebook Shapes of Time because visualizing literally what I want in this life helps those things to come to me in vehicles that I recognize. So that way when my dreams actually are presented to me, I can look and say, oh yes, this is that thing that I prayed for. I'm not going to show them to you because they're very beautiful and very personal. However, I mean, this should tell you a lot about what's going on in here. I have pictures of what it looks like on my inside self that I painted with water to be able to visualize, right? Literally vision the person that I am becoming, the person that I have been and will be, and what that said person grows. Like in the last one, when we talked about vision, I said that my greatest vision is to be something that grows new, beautiful things that then grow more new, beautiful things. So I visualize that in a picture. I put it down, like I made portraits. This is not a journal that goes with me everywhere. I only have it on me because I am traveling, and it was unavoidable, like I had to take it. However, this lives at home. It has tear out pages, which is important, so that way when I am done making these visions, I can hang them up on the wall and I can see them regularly to remind myself what it is I'm setting out for here. This is not a journal that I need to use daily, right? Like it's something that I take time to paint, take time on, and then that thing hangs on the wall essentially until the thing has come to me in accordance and I need to update my visions, or if I get more visions, right, I'll paint more and put them on. But this is not a daily situation. It's not even a weekly situation necessarily. It's once it's done, it's done. The paper in this is very thick, okay? You can kind of see what I'm drawing here. The paper in this is really, really thick, so that it can take multiple kinds of ink. It can take paint, it can take watercolor, it can take magic marker, it can take it. She's thick, she's sturdy. That's very helpful because when you have larger than life visions, you're going to need paper that is able to withstand that kind of stuff. It's great paper for vision boarding as well. I am gonna print out pictures and make a vision board with this paper, or likely like a vision multiple boards. I know that people are big fans of digital vision boards so that you can put it as like your screensaver background. You can look at it all the time. I will probably, jump on that train, but there's something about making a physical piece of art that just does something to me. We also have my prayer and revelation journal. I do write in this more days than not, if not every day, multiple times a week. I think that there are few more powerful things than writing your prayers down. Because again, you will forget what you asked God for. You absolutely will. Especially because by the time it comes to you, oftentimes, at least for me, by the time I get things that I ardently prayed for, I received them because I became a being who could handle them with ease, which means that by the time I receive them, I am not leaping for joy. I am not doing a backflip. I feel a quiet relief, if anything, such that I might forget that this was once an existence I begged to have. Writing down my prayers and also my revelations, the things that I realize about myself, my circumstance, like breakthrough moments, that goes in this journal. It only has blank pages. There are no lines, there are no dots, because it's very freeform. The process of, at least for me, the process of prayer and revelation needs a lot of free space to be able to just be. And then it also needs to be small enough such that I can carry it with me wherever I go. The brand on this is that Stayology brand, What Should Have Been Is. They also have, I have 2 notebooks from them, this one and another one that we'll talk about in a second, my Coveted Systems notebook. I really like the paper in this one. It's very thin. In terms of overtly spiritual systems, I will say, I also have a manifestation journal. Now, this is the newest of the bunch, and this is a relatively new practice, so I cannot tell you, well, I was about to lie and say I can't tell you how well it works, but I have already experienced it working very well, where I literally just write down what it is that I want 30 times. I remember doing this in grade school. I feel like an auntie. I don't know when I got to auntie status, smooth jazz, soft textiles, very early mornings. Talking about the good old days way back yonder. This is about to sound very old school, that's what I'm about to say. But when I was in elementary school, I had a physical education teacher called Miss Crosby. And you had, for us, specials were week by week by week. We had gym one week, we had art one week, and then we had music one week. So you had to remember which was which, because you might need to bring things from home that were applicable to what you were doing at school. I was a Miss Mary Jane's girl, okay? I was not a sneakers kiddo. Sneakers were not my primary, not my most beloved shoe. I love a sandal. I love something that I can slip off and be barefoot. And I love a heel. To this day, I love a heel. So I just love to trample upon my enemies, you know? So I would constantly forget my gym shoes. And every time I forgot my gym shoe, there was a small grace period. Once, it was okay. Twice, you got a warning, but you still got to play. If you forgot your gym shoes 3 times over the course of the year, you were not allowed to participate in gym for the rest of the week. Like, you could have forgotten your gym shoes in January once, and in March once, and it's June. If you forgot them then, sucks to suck. You sat out for the rest of the week, and you got a clipboard with lined paper, and you had to write down, I will not forget my gym shoes. I will not forget my gym shoes. I will not forget my gym shoes for the entire hour. I'm not going to say that wasn't effective, because once I got that treatment one time, I never did it again. I never forgot my gym shoes ever again. Now, I would have phrased it in the positive. I will bring my gym shoes. I will bring my gym shoes. I will bring my gym, but still very effective. Okay. So I am someone that learns a lot by reading and writing. Most of my learning comes from reading something and writing it down, because that's really how it sticks in my memory. It grooves in my mind. So writing down the thing that I want 30 times every morning and every night brings the thing closer to me faster. It orients my mind such that I know why I'm getting up in the morning. I know why I'm doing the work that I'm doing. I know what I'm working on tomorrow because I wrote it down 30 times. This paper, Black-owned, woman-owned development, okay? It's called Folk Us. I'll put it on the screen. I will not lie to you. I was got by marketing. I didn't see this on social media. I was shopping for candles. I'm a big candle girly. I use them when I work to help me understand how much time is passing. So they're really necessary just in my day-to-day life because, like I said, ADHD, autism, I have a lot of time blindness. I was out shopping for candles. I saw this notebook and it said written in stone on it. And I was like, girl, what? Okay, so the paper is not actually made of trees. It's made of limestone. First of all, it's so much better for the environment. You can look on their website. I really enjoyed how open they are about the process of making these. And then also, it's literally made of limestone dust from limestone quarries that already exist. So that really fills a gap in terms of using things that we were already considering trash. Now you have made something new and beautiful. And it also means that when you're writing in it, you're literally writing it in stone. I was like, you got me. Written in stone trademarked. You were right to trademark that because that's a good one. That's a good think in ink. I'm about to trademark that. Watch me. So that's it for the overtly spiritual systems, I will say. We go from daily use, like once or twice a day, to like most days, but it doesn't usually take long. Like writing down my vision or my mission statement that I'm working towards right now 30 times takes me about 15 or 20 minutes. I put on certain music, I get myself in the groove, and you will watch yourself go into a meditative state. It's really cool. I would recommend that you try it. And again, not sponsored, didn't even see this on social media. I just walked into a store and I saw this and I think it's beautiful. So, word. The next thing is called time bending. Ooh, again, I told you I was going to get real woo-woo. Time is malleable. It is not linear. Time is not something that is happening to you, and time is not something that you are in short supply of. You, in fact, have all the time in the world in your hands. You just need to shape it such that it creates for you a life where you can shape more of it. I call it time bending in the same way that we imagine like Avatar: The Last Airbender, right? And they bend the different elements. Humans are thought creatures. We are designed to be able to bend the metaphysical things around us. I know, but it's true. And once you start moving like it's true, you don't even have to be sold on these ideas. Just like suspend your disbelief. Spend a month of your life living like you truly can do anything. You truly can get what you want. You truly can have the world and watch your life change. I'm just saying. Just try it. Suspend your disbelief for a month of your life and try these things. You don't have to try all the journals. I'll give you a starter recommendation at the end of this. This is just what I do. Time bending means that I am tracking time. I am planning time. I am applying time and energy to the things with which I grow. So like we said, right, in my mind's eye, the way that I exist, I look like a growing thing. I said the internal scape of me looks like a garden. I grow various things. I too am a thing that I grow. I am the fertile earth. I am the gardener whose hands raise them up, and I am the beautiful thing that grows. It's all me in there. The only thing that I can picture in my mind's eye is various iterations of myself, my love, my comforts, my worries, etc. I'm the only thing that exists on my inside self, and the things that like come and affect me. I don't know if that made sense, but the way that I grow myself metaphysically, right? The ways that I grow myself physically: exercise, produce, water, meditation, etc. Like I do things to take care of my corporal physical body, which is very finite. The way that I grow myself metaphysically is with the application of time. Time is like fertilizer. Time is like sunlight. Like I have to focus my time and bend it so that it falls on me in a way that makes me grow. That being said, the systems notebook already has a pen in it because I've already used it today. This is also from Stayology. I do two things with it. I love the binding of this notebook. I love the paper of it. I love everything about this notebook, and I think that it's going to be a staple in my life for maybe the rest of my life, unless I make my own custom journals in which it will actually be perfection, because there's a few things that I would change, but this is like an 8.5 out of 10. That's unheard of from me. In the front, I have my hand-drawn calendars. Okay, this is October of 2024. I have my hand-drawn calendars drawn out through the end of 2025, in which I'll do it again. I like hand drawing my calendars because it reminds me that time is made up. The Gregorian calendar is just something that we made up, that I can make up time any way that I wish. So hand drawing it is just a good reminder of that. It helps me keep my appointments together and things of the sort. And then if you flip it around, so this is the front, right? If you flip it over, I then have my day-to-day, right? Like I have what I am doing, what I have done, what is due tomorrow, what my priority tasks are, the things that I have to check off, okay? These are coming straight from my 12-week year. You have a strategic planning period every week where you work on yourself and not with yourself. You work on your systems, you work on your business in terms of maintenance, expansion, education, and not in your business as in meetings, emails, one-on-ones, etc. I have my priority tasks drawn out. I have my physical tasks. I have what I have to do outside. I always ask myself, what does today need? What does tomorrow need? And what are you grateful for / appreciative of every day? I fill those things out. I have also my color-coded 12-week year goals, ideas, outcomes, so that I have them close so I can just flip back and look at what those things cost me every day, week, month. This one requires a lot of review. You do have to, this is not even just every day, this is multiple kinds a day. You will not see me without this on my person unless I am literally on vacation. I'm on a time break in which I don't have to think about any of these things. But if I am even doing a modicum of work, this is near me. It is within reach, okay? It has a pen in it all the time because I'm using it all the time. I'm checking off the things that I have to do on the day-to-day while they happen. My days are scheduled out in 3 to 4 hour blocks. I don't like to schedule down to the hour because it feels a little too, I like a little bit of wiggle room, but I schedule out every 3 to 4 hour blocks in terms of these are the things that you need to get done within this 3 to 4 hour block. So every 3 to 4 hours, even sometimes less than that, I'm in this hoe, okay? Me and her are locked in, right? She knows everything about me, this journal. If I lost this journal, I would cry real tears. It is one of my most important well, I would say that they're all really important, but this is the one that gets the most time love from me. In terms of time bending, it is crucial. This journal is crucial. It also has the same paper as the other Stayology notebook. It's just that thin, delicious, but doesn't bleed through ink. It also has grids. Sorry, there's a picture I keep in here of my loved one. It has grids on it. Again, shape determines function, so those grids really help me to remember that I am using this journal to structure my time. 2 more within the time pending category, although all these systems are spiritual. We also have our 12-week tracker. Hold on a second. Where'd she go? Oh, Lord. As I am navigating through the 12-week year, it does stress that your 12-week year, those goals are really specific, really strategic, and are different than your day-to-day to-dos. So this does have a lot of static in it. It does have a lot. It literally is everything that I do in a day, plus reflections, short journaling, maybe some verses from holy texts, etc., etc. Like this has a lot in it. This is very streamlined. And this is where I go to practice the things that I am implementing, especially in terms of systems. It is the Mod Ambition Planner. Y'all have heard me talk about Dr. Tiffany Shelton way too many times now. I did cave and buy her planner. I want to say I have never done that before. I have never bought anybody's planner. I have never bought anybody's e-resources. I just don't think that I need it. Obviously, I'm a journaling goat. I probably don't need yours. This lady, I don't know. I said, I'm gonna try it. I have found it helpful enough such that I would recommend it. Now, I'll give you a full review after my 12-week year is done and up. I can tell you how much I would repurchase. I can tell you if I think that it's worth purchasing. But right now, the answer is yes, I do think that it's worth purchasing. So this is my 12-week year tracker. This has like time blocked literally hour by hour so that I can go in and fill in what I actually did versus what I said that I would do. And that really helps me to course correct if necessary, or to be able to see if the routine that I have in mind is actually something that I can implement on my day-to-day. I am so good at overscheduling myself. I am so good at taking advantage of my Herculean work capacity and then working myself until I drop. And that's something that I am leaving behind. I have a body now that is firmly in my adult years. I have watched my family members, particularly the women in my family, work themselves to the bone and then die of stress-related causes or gain chronic illnesses that are rooted in stress, and I don't want that for myself. So this is where I go to, like, so whereas systems is what is actually happening in the day-to-day, this is the journal where I review these systems. I put it in here so that it's nice and clean and in a format that's just like really, really easy to see. And I say, did I do the things that I said that I would do? And am I willing to continue to pay the cost of the schedule that I have in place? And it's okay if the answer is no. We also have my feelings notebook. This one's getting old. She been through some shit. You can see how like weathered the spine is, right? Like weathered the pages are. This is she's getting full. I'm gonna have to, we're getting ready to wrap this one up. I really enjoy this journal. It's from they're German. The pages are pretty thick. As you can hear from the, ooh, hold on, I'm gonna do it again. Oh yeah, the pages are pretty thick. It takes marker very well as like thicker kinds of ink. I really, 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 really like the size of it because it just feels like a hug. When I'm holding it, it feels really sturdy at the end of the day. These have dotted pages because I like a little bit, I have previously enjoyed a little bit of structure while I am journaling out my emotions. The dots are something that I can ignore if I want to, but they are also something that helps me create columns and things like that while I am journaling. However, my next feelings notebook, which I already bought because this one's almost full, it's from the same brand. It actually has no dots. So I'm gonna be curious to see how I interact with my feelings when there is nothing on the page that kind of guides them. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm curious to see if I'll make more art. This is one of those journals that I would recommend starting with. Not necessarily this journal in particular. You can do it in any journal that you want. But feelings notebooks it was the first journal that I started with. It was when I was 13 turning 14 and I picked up a journal for the first time. It was a composition notebook, wide ruled. It was red and white and speckled. I found it in my dad's house and was like, can I have this? And he was like, yeah, sure. And I named it. I named her Thessalina. And I wrote to Thessalina as much as I wanted to. There was no rhyme or reason to this, and that's still the case. There is no rhyme or reason to this journal. I am not required to use it. I use it if I want to talk about the day or talk about my feelings or just like talk about like if I have something on my mind and I keep thinking it, that means I need to think about it in ink. Think in ink, trademarked. The big thing about feelings notebooks is that if I assign like you have to write every day, it will feel like homework. I've only had this one since I believe April 18th, 2014. So it's been almost a year, and this is pretty thick pages. They're numbered. I love that. There's a envelope holder in the back so that you can put like mementos. So this is sentimental. I will say it's a very sentimental journal. The pages are numbered. There is a table of contents in the beginning, which makes like reading through the journal and saying this important thing happened this day or this time in life really, really easy. And I'm already almost done with it. Let's see. I have, Ooh, ooh. I have this much to go. I have this much to go. This is one that I would recommend if you are new to journaling and you're like, I want to get a journal, get a feelings notebook, name it, write to that notebook. That's Lena. You will never, Lena, I called her Lena. Lena, you will never believe what happened today. I was in Spanish too, okay? Write it down. Write it down like that you are talking to your best friend who literally never tires of hearing about every silly single minutia of your day. Do it. It's actually made me a lot better at storytelling, and it's made me a lot better at intimacy, because at the time that I started that named notebook, I did so because I didn't really have friends. Like I didn't feel like I had a best friend. I didn't feel like I had anybody that I could really like call and delve into my life with. And I was about to start high school, and it just felt so, I don't know. The process of blooming was frightening and beautiful and nectarous and lonely and all the things that you feel when you're just a teenager who's on the brink of something, you know? This is the notebook that I come to whenever I feel like I'm on the brink of something, whenever I feel jubilant or lonely or whatever. Whenever I have just like the minutia of my day, I come to my journal usually first. And if not first, because now I do really have people that I love to tell about my day. I do really have people that I love to talk to. My journal still gets, I would say, the best of me. We are in the final category. These are memory workouts, that's what I say. It's like the memory gym. These are the journals that I use to help me hone my mind and sharpen it. So they're really workbooks. This is gonna look like a repeat, I know. But like, see, when I told you that this, you can see the difference between these two journals, right? Weathered, old, haggard. I need a better, can you see like the dilapidation on that spine? Whereas this one still looks, she looks pretty good. See that? She looks pretty good. This is the same brand, however, it is in grid paper instead of dotted paper. Again, shape determines function. It has places to write the date at the top. The pages are numbered. I do love that. 1917, great brand. This is Critical Financial Studies, or that's what I named it. But in reality, it's a workbook for the kinds of knowledge that I need to be able to do well in this next iteration of life. I am not well studied in finances, and in general, the resources that are available are about personal finances. I'm all right at personal finances. Where I need sharpened and disciplined growth is the finances of a business owner and the head of a nonprofit, which is what I now am. I have desires to hire people full time. I want to be able to provide health insurance. I want to be able to operate on multiple continents. So that kind of stuff is just not, that is not as easy to find on the internet. So I'm putting myself through accounting courses because I need to be able to have more intelligent conversations with my accountant. I need to understand more about global economic systems, because as much as I'm like, the economy is made up, yes, it is. And also it touches everything that you touch in a given day. So I have to learn and figure it out. Like I said, all of the systems, spiritual systems. I really should rename this to sapling studies that need to be nursed by hand. There are like studies that I have where I can take digital notes, like typed notes or notes with a digital tablet, and I don't have to do it with pen and ink. That is not this. Like anytime that I have a field of study that requires me to be really, what's the word? I have to nurse it day to day. I need to write that down by hand. If I'm starting from what I feel like is scratch, like zero knowledge, I do pen in hand. I need to be writing that shit down. I need to be going over it with highlighters and markers. I need to draw pictures and thought maps, and I need that to be on a physical notebook so that way I can do it at any time. We also have, and this is the last journal that we're going to talk about today, field notes. She's teeny. I was in like an indigo kick, like a royal blue-esque kick. These are all like navy. We've come out of it, but Field Notes also has a pen that lives in it perpetually. She's teeny. This is small enough to fit in my jacket pocket or to fit in really any of my purse receptacles. I have a jacket from Nipsey Hussle's line. May he rest in peace, man. I have a jacket, a marathon jacket, a Letterman that I wear pretty much every day all the time. And it fits in that little pocket. Field Notes is the notebook that I go out with just to write down the thoughts of the day. It's something that I take and I tear and I give people like written instructions on how to get somewhere, or my Instagram or their Instagram or whatever. Like I oftentimes will go outside without my phone on me to remind myself what it is like to navigate without a GPS in my hand. So this is really helpful. It has little written directions. It has pictures from my instant print camera. It is literally just like the field notes of the day. So it is not something that I use every day. It's something that I use as needed, and writing it down helps me to remember what happens to me. And that's all. If I were to recommend starting journals, I would say get yourself a feelings notebook. It doesn't have to be, your shape determines your function. So pick a journal that you like the feel of, that you like the paper of. Make sure that you have pens that tactilely feel good in your hand, and then write whatever is at the front of your mind. There is no right or wrong answer. Name that journal and be like, Sarah, Chrysanthemum, Idris, guess what the fuck happened today, and write it the fuck down. There will come a day where you don't remember. And also getting it out, especially if you're watching this and you are like under the age of if you're like 22 and under, particularly you, get it out from swirling right here onto a page. It is so much easier to think. I would also recommend a daily systems notebook, even if you don't use it every day. I know that I said daily, and that's the thing that like can make, listen, this systems notebook that I love so much, I didn't touch it for a week because I felt guilty about not hitting my goals. And then I didn't want to go check off my boxes or not check off my boxes and like acknowledge to myself that I didn't hit my goals. And so I didn't use it for a week, and now I'm on again. So daily does not mean that you've done it every day successfully 365 days a week in the Gregorian calendar year. Daily means that it's something that is helpful to use daily. So I would absolutely recommend, at minimum, writing down what it is you have to do, how you're feeling, and do some anticipation of tomorrow. Thinking about tomorrow before it comes, quote, I'm putting that in quotes because time is not linear. But thinking about tomorrow before it comes helps tomorrow to become easier. Yeah. And then for 3, because I would recommend starting with 3. You can put them all in one notebook if you want. When I was a teenager, I had all of these 3 systems just sitting in one notebook. So then I went through notebooks like the Dickens. Like that's the reason I separated them. But you can just have one notebook that you do these 3 things in. I would recommend writing down your prayers, whether you pray in a religious sense, whether you pray in a spiritual sense, whether you pray in a vibe sense. Write down the things that you are asking for. Write down the things that you want. Write down the things that as of right now, you truly feel like your wildest dreams are. Write them down. Write them down and see how they come to you. Remember, kids, think in ink. Trademarked. Watch me. Have a good day.